Welcome. Today we're going to talk about transformations. When you think of the transformers, that is one type of transformation. In fact, whoever wrote the movie Transformers obviously knew about math. I'll explain why. A transformation changes the position or the orientation of a figure. Position is where it is. The orientation is how it's faced, like what direction it's pointing. So in this diagram we have the simplest geometric diagram. It's just a point called point A. And after a transformation, the resulting figure is called the image of the original. So here's A, and this would be the image of A. And we denote the image of A by writing A prime. So that little mark, it's not an exponent, it's similar to an apostrophe, and it's read as prime. So that's why we have Optimus Prime would be after Optimus is transformed, right? So the image is called A prime. Okay, there's three types of transformations, and they are translation, which slides a figure and doesn't change its orientation. There's a reflection that flips a figure across a certain line. And there's a rotation, which turns a figure and definitely changes its orientation. We're going to go into each of these in a little bit more detail. First one, translation. A translation slides a figure along a line without turning it. So go ahead and draw triangle ABC on an XY axis, and then we're going to slide it along, and the resulting image is called ABC prime. Although you definitely want to put the prime on each of the points, so it would technically be called A prime, B prime, C prime. And the original figure and its image are congruent. In other words, they're the same size and the same shape. So, draw the image after a translation of 3 units to the right and 5 units up. This is the type of directions we get when doing a translation. What you do is you pick any given point and move that point 3 units to the right and 5 units up, and then repeat that for each of the corners. So after the translation of 3 units to the right and then 5 units up, I would put it here, and that would be the image. The next type of transformation is called a reflection. A reflection flips a figure across a line to create a mirror image, and that line is called the line of reflection. And we always draw it as a dotted line. That line of reflection is not really part of the drawing. That's why it's dotted. We put it there so that we know that that's what the figure flipped over. So I'm going to reflect the word reflection, and you'll see some mirror writing. So this is the reflection of the word reflection. How meta is that? A reflection flips a figure across a line of reflection. So let's do an actual geometric shape. Here's a triangle. I'm going to put an unusual line of reflection. I'll put a diagonal here. So we want to draw the same triangle flipped across that line. Can you guess how it would go? This is the image after a reflection. So every point moves perpendicular to the line of reflection. It's a little simpler. We're going to reflect this figure across the x-axis. So go ahead and draw the line of reflection on the x-axis. Remember, that would be a dotted line like this. This is the line of reflection. And we're going to go ahead and flip. Now notice the original triangle, the base of it is 2 units up from the line of reflection. So after we flip it over, it's going to be 2 units below the line of reflection to maintain the symmetry. And there's the image. Also, the top was 6 units above the line of reflection, and so the furthest point now is going to be 6 units below. We'll try one more reflection. This time, let's reflect the same figure across the y-axis. So once again, draw your line of reflection along the y-axis, like so. Make sure it's a dotted line. That indicates that that's the line of reflection. Now this time, the part of the triangle nearest the line of reflection is 4 units to the right. So we're going to draw that same line, but 4 units to the left. And the furthest part was 6 units to the right, so here the furthest part is 6 units to the left, and that's the image. Clearly, the orientation of the figure has changed, right? Okay, finally, a rotation turns a figure around a fixed point called the center of rotation. And that fixed point could be part of the shape, like one of its corners, or you could rotate it around any point on the xy axis, like you could rotate around the origin. We're going to rotate this figure around its top point. We'll call that the point of reflection. And we're going to rotate it counterclockwise by 90 degrees. So here is a 90-degree rotation. The image is what we call it after the transformation. So I'm going to show you a couple of transformations, and you just have to say what type of transformation it is. Okay, so what kind of transformation is this image? If you guess that that was a reflection about the y-axis, then you are correct. Okay, next one. What type of transformation is this? If you said that was a translation, then you are absolutely correct. That is a translation. Finally, what type of transformation is this? If you said a rotation, then you got it right.